What up, Tank?
Hey, what up, Cole, man?
Woo, boy, my perm about to follow all this drama going on this week, boy.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. But I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm very excited today, man. We got a very special guest here, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet him. Yeah,
Hey, man,
I
that's
can't
what I'm
wait to
talking
wait. You know, this is mental health month, so
Yes, sir.
it's gonna be really intriguing,
It's
man.
gonna be a
But
big thing.
Let's get down to the meat and potato. Because
Let's
this
do
is
it,
like,
man.
bruh, like, come on, Sanders. It's like the Sanders episode here, man.
Yeah, man.
Shedeur,
Yeah, man.
5th round,
Yeah.
177, I believe.
Yeah. It was some 144.
144.
I think. Yeah,
Let me
144.
clarify that.
Yeah, get it straight,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
They
let me,
did-
yeah, yeah. Let me clarify that because I'm gonna be the antagonist today. I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. So it's I'm about to cook up in here. But
Hey, let's go with it, man.
let's be real here. Okay, let's be honest. Okay, this league is a business,
Right.
and the perception is everything. The NFL is like the government form of they playing on the field.
Right.
That's exactly what it is.
Do what I tell you to do.
Exactly. So you and this is the thing about black people. Black people root when it's convenient for them.
Mm.
When it's convenient for them, Cam Ward did not get that love that Shedeur get.
Well,
He didn't get that. No. And then your boy Hunter, no love like that.
yeah, but you got to understand this. I think it's a lot of hate toward Schuler because of his father. You know, Deion Sanders is prime time, baby. You know what I'm saying? So if that's your dad, you're gonna pick up some of those ways. And I feel like the league hating on him a little bit.
No, and this is why I'm about to be the devil's advocate.
Uh-huh.
You got to understand that this is their platform. And you know who is this I'm talking about. I ain't got to Google it. You can chat GPT this shit. This is their platform. You coming in need an opportunity. They don't need you. Your dad already got that gold jacket.
Right.
He's a legend on the field. I love watching Deion play.
Mm.
You're trying to get the opportunity. You're not going to the interviews. You're not going to the Columbines. You're bringing to an entourage to interviews. You iced out. You're showing your jewelry more than your draft. A lot of arrogance, dude. Like, where's the hate?
I don't take it as arrogance, man. But if you look at it, like Schuler, man, he was already a millionaire in college. You see what I'm saying? So,
But you trying to get to the NFL and get on the starting quarterback, and you need them. So
Right.
my thing is, if you got to come in here and be humble, you can't come in here and say, "Oh man, I'm God's gift for the world." Like, no.
yeah, but he was a stellar quarterback in college, though.
And he's a 5th rounder. Fifth rounder.
He's not a 5th rounder. They tried to make an example out of him, man.
You know why?
Uh-huh.
You can't come into no platform like that. Okay, look, even as a comedian,
Okay.
I can't come in here with my nose stuck up, my balls hanging out. Who the hell is you?
Right.
Entertainment don't need me. The NFL don't need Shedeur. They don't need him.
But what did Shedeur do to deserve that type of treatment?
I'm talking about, you cannot, okay, you have the free will to do what you want to do. I'm
Right.
not knocking nobody, but you didn't go to the Combine.
Right.
The interviews, you felt like you wasn't interested. Even Brian DeBall said this.
Mm-hmm.
You brought your entourage to the interview. You display a level of arrogance. Dude.
He's only doing what he know, man.
No, he's a grown ass man. No,
Right. But if my daddy big prime time, I'm gonna do some prime time stuff,
Deion
man.
Sanders does have a huge role of him
Right.
getting picked in 5th round. I'm gonna get to him in just a minute. Oh, Deion, we're gonna kick your ass in a minute. But Shedeur is a 21, 22-year-old kid.
Correct.
He's a grown man. That ain't no old young like.
Listen,
I'm just not buying it.
We teach our kids to keep your head held up.
You cannot come in here being arrogant on a platform you need. You talking about his jersey selling.
Right.
Don't you know the NFL gets that cut? Cleveland Browns get that cut. That is the property of the NFL and Cleveland Browns. So I don't know what people are going to the website.
Not if he don't sign that contract. He can make his own. They saying by his jersey.
That's his jersey.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But you can't use the Cleveland colors and logo.
No, you can't use that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you can't. So it's not really the NFL authentic jersey. It's not his.
That's a trademark issue if they go that route. But if Shurler make his own jersey that's not of Cleveland Brown, people can buy that.
Yeah. If he make his own jersey, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, from what I've seen, people wearing it's the Cleveland jersey, blah blah blah. You can't use their colors. That's their trademark. Any logo on the Cleveland Browns belongs to the NFL. NFL gets a cut off of it.
Right. But I just feel like this. I feel like people want this man to tap dance. You know, he'd be out there jibber jibbing.
Okay, let me ask you this. Y'all talk about tap dancing.
Uh-huh.
It's their platform. We gonna do what they say or dance to do it. It's just that simple, dog. And you might could agree or disagree, but you cannot come into a platform that they own, that they run, and they do things their way, thinking that you high mighty. That's not gonna work. Black folks need to understand that. It ain't about playing the game. It's about being humble and speaking their language to get what you want.
Right,
that's what it's about.
But my thing is, what platform was it? He was at home. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do the NFL need him or he need the NFL?
I think it go both ways. I think it go both ways.
Dude.
You need the NFL need the players. Because without the players.
But he's a fifth rounder.
He's not a fifth. He was drafted in the fifth round, but he actually would have been the first round if they wasn't trying to make an example out of him.
You got to be humble in this league. You cannot come in this game. Oh, I'm big headed. Your dad is a legend. I'm not gonna take nothing from Deion. I think he's great. But you cannot come in here and try to fill your dad's shoes being the rookie platform.
Now that's the problem right there. You can take that in the same way as in corporate. Yeah,
go ahead. Okay, so you trying to get a job with a big corporate corporation. Okay. You got a badass resume. You come and say, yeah, I'm doing this. They're gonna look at you like, whoo, we got 1,000 applicants. Mr. Tank, let's go to somebody else.
So let's do this. Did they do it to Peyton Manning, to the Mannings?
Hold on.
They did the same thing.
Pause for a second.
Okay.
Pause for a second.
All right. Let's talk about it.
I told you that's their platform.
Right.
If you don't know what that's mean,
Google
it, ChatGPT.
I know what you mean.
You cannot come in there expecting to be just like them when they got their platform.
Right.
They got their platform strictly for their people and for their only. Black folks need to learn that. You cannot come in everybody else's platform thinking I got the same privilege he got all that. No. Slavery still exists. Racism still exists. Live and well, dude.
Well, somebody black got to break that generational.
It ain't going to break.
Somebody got to make the sacrifice to break it.
You know why it's going to break? Because black people stick together when it's convenient for them. Only when it's convenient for them.
That happens sometimes.
You heard what happened to Uncle Shannon.
Right.
Black folks, we're going to talk about that later.
They turn their back on.
Right. So no. Black folks do shit when it's convenient for them.
Right.
I don't want to hear, we gonna stick together. No, that shit's dead, bro.
Hey.
Shadiah got what he deserved in the 5th round. He lucky he got drafted, to be honest with you.
Man,
you can't.
You know what? So this is the same thing that happened to Baltimore quarterback. The same thing happened to Lamar Jackson. Same thing when he had his head laying on the desk. You
can't go on nobody's platform. If
they try to make examples out of black people.
It's their league. It's their rules.
Right.
What part you don't understand?
But what percentages of us is in that?
Okay. Truth be told,
right.
You could go to any fast food place. Who run it? They do. Who work there? We do. We gonna do what they say. That's just the way it goes, dude.
Well, it depends on if it's a McDonald's or not, because black folk own the McDonald's now.
yeah, they own it. All right, yeah. You cannot go on that platform doing those type of things. You got to learn how to speak their language. You got to learn their moves. Then you ease your way up. And Deion Sanders can do that because he done paid his dues. He got his respect. He can do that. Shadur's a rookie out of college. They don't need him. You dropped him in the 5th round. He's got 3 other quarterbacks that's ahead of him. He might not even make the team. If he don't make the team, what y'all gonna do? Boycott the NFL?
Man, it's the Cleveland Browns, man. They need anybody. The Cleveland Browns need anybody, man. The
Cleveland Browns is a place to they don't even know what they're trying to do with these. They're trying to figure out what they're trying to do with Deshaun Watson. That's a place that's like a training facility. Cleveland Browns is not even. I don't even want to say they're legit because I got people in Cleveland and I don't want them to crucify me. But Cleveland is in a rebuilding mode. They're trying to figure out who the quarterback is. They got the defense straight. They got Myles Garrett good. But they are in a rebounding mode.
Elite quarterback now.
Who?
who they just drafted.
No, he's not an elite quarterback.
Yes,
no,
he is.
I entirely disagree.
Watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch, and
Watch.
then we're gonna play this video. Go like, it's gonna be a Kaepernick 2.0, and I'm like, I told you so. Black folks gonna learn to either do what they say or they have to do it. It's just that simple.
Hey, he gonna take the Cleveland Brown where they ain't never been before.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
And that's to the playoffs somewhere. Cause Cleveland been terrible for years, man.
And they gonna still be terrible.
They've been terrible for years.
They might do something because they got Joey Flacco there. They might do a little something because he's the veteran quarterback.
Oh, you think he gonna do what he did at Philly?
I mean, he took them to the playoffs. They took
Flacco.
Cleveland to the playoffs. Well,
Flacco.
And he got a ring.
He old.
He got a ring.
Yeah,
so
right.
He got a ring.
Right.
So my thing is this: Shedeur needs to come in here with a humble heart, a humble spirit. You cannot. Yeah, absolutely.
So you want him to be up there?
No, it ain't about tap dancing.
You want tap dancing?
It ain't about being tap dancing. It's about speaking their language. Y'all black people gonna learn.
Look, this ain't Django. Tell her goodbye, man. Goodbye, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to say this: you cannot go on their platform doing that, and black folks gonna learn that when they run stuff, we gonna show. And that's exactly why he got drafted in the 5th round. Now I'm about to get on Deion ass. Deion ass need to worry about Colorado Buffalo losing to them strong ass teams last year. He need to be trying to recruit some good people out there.
Look like he got a squad though.
Deion Sanders' mouth caused a lot of that. People don't want that drama on their team, dude. Why you think Terrell Owens, Dez Bryant bounced around from teams? They don't want that drama. They don't want that. They don't want divas. Why you think Antonio Brown can't play on the team? They don't want. Okay. They don't want that shit.
So imagine this: if you didn't have people like that, some people right now still be in slavery. If you didn't have people
slavery
to stand
now. I just said that. We in slavery now.
See,
we in it.
I think I would have been one of those type people because I ain't finna sit around and not speak my mind.
We can just tell you they're gonna do.
You know
there you go. They're gonna do right there.
I'm gonna speak my mind. That's the bottom line.
It ain't about speaking your mind. It's about doing. It's about how to do it. When you supposed to do it. You can't come in here with a big head. You ain't never threw an NFL pass. You're a rookie. I want to get an opportunity. You going around, your dad, Deion Sanders, going around saying, you better not draft my team. He can't. Who the hell are you?
I see what's going on.
Are you?
I see what's going on. You want that? Yes, sir.
It ain't about that.
I'm sick.
Who are you?
Boss.
Who are you? Who are you to go around and tell their platform that you can do? It's like me going to their platform and say, I'm gonna do this, so I'm gonna do that. They're gonna say,
so guess what though? If nobody never stood up, they wouldn't be getting paid in college.
None of them are gonna stand up. The NFL is the name. The NFL is named for the reason. What is it gonna be called?
Huh?
What is it gonna be called?
Not for long.
Not for long.
Yeah, that's the NFL.
My thing is this, and not for long stands for them.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
so
the NFL stand for.
If he's signing that paycheck and they doing all that, you're gonna do what they say.
He already make more money than what they gonna sign him for anyway now.
But okay, so why are you stressing about you not getting drafted then? Why is he stressing sitting there looking like, man, I don't think nobody. Oh, they drafted me. Oh, he was that. So eventually you need their platform. Because if not, you'll go play in the Canadian League or the ethic, whatever, the UFL. Whatever.
But
you going to the NFL, huh?
He don't.
But they don't need him. And watch me. And he's put a target on the back. Everybody here is going to be watching Shedeur.
Right.
They're not going to watch Cam Ward. Right. They're going to check him out. Right. But they're going to be looking at Shedeur. Right. And if he's a bust, it's gonna go real bad.
From what I've seen this kid put the team on his back.
NFL is a totally different tier.
Accurate. He accurate.
NFL is a total different tier. It's totally different. Okay.
Right.
You had a lot of great QBs in college that could not success in the NFL.
Right.
So if he's a target on his back, he gonna come into this league and he don't start, he don't get playing time. It's gonna be real.
But he had the proper training, man.
I'm not taking none of that from him.
You got to look at that. He went through the process.
He's not even the best quarterback in the draft.
He had Tom Brady train him. He had his dad. He had a lot of other people.
I'm not saying that you got to use this.
Yeah, I can agree with that. You got to use your mind.
I'm this diva. Ooh, how my hair look. How do my chain look? Bro, if you don't sit your ass down, no, I'm not buying that shit. No, sorry.
But he's an upstanding young man. if you look at it, I haven't seen
when
him.
you in that platform, you gonna do what they say, and that's just the bottom line. It ain't got nothing. Y'all want to pull a Kaepernick 2.0? The NFL still make millions. Why people quit watching? It's still gonna make money. Shador or no Shador, it's still gonna make money. It's gonna still
so
be raised.
you want him to be a puppet? You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, pause. Majority of them are puppets. So what's your next question? You don't think Deion Sanders is a puppet? You don't think Primetime's a puppet? Huh? You don't think Primetime's a puppet?
Hey man,
okay.
That's prime time, man. That's prime time, man.
That's his dad's name, quote unquote. That's his dad's name. Nah, I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. He put a target on his back, and this was gonna cause. So everybody this year gonna be watching him, and they're gonna be really paying close attention to him.
All right, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, now I feel like, man, hey, man, I think, the kids, man, and we got to, but speaking of kids, man, we got a very special guest, man, today. And we got Kenneth Sober Scooter Reddick the second. But he's a awesome guy, man. He the CEO of the Brothers Brunch Foundation, and he do a lot in the community, man. And he's a damn good brother, and he got a lot going on. Welcome. Man.
What up? Your horrible intro was horrible.
Oh, it's horrible.
You
man.
are fire. Get your ass out of here. How you doing, Scooter, man?
Hey, man, I'm good. My name is Kenneth Sober Scooter Reddick II. Let me get everything out right.
Yeah. He gonna do his whole introduction.
The CEO and founder of the Brothers Brunch Foundation.
Right.
Not a time to eat. Right. But be fed.
Be fed.
Right. Mental health and self-care awareness.
Woo! Hey, man, he seems like he's suffering for a little bit of it. Go ahead.
He all right. Hey, that was a difficult conversation.
Very.
But you all hit on something that's very important.
Right.
The parenting and guidance is key.
Absolutely, 100%.
And that's something that we as black men and we as fathers, we got to navigate a little bit differently.
Right. Understood.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, and we as black, it's beautiful to see black men push their sons or daughters or their kids. But I just think with this whole situation, Deion is kind of just holding his hand too much. He's grown. He's got to make decisions from himself. You heard what Tampa Bay said, look, when Shallow drafted him, they said, he can't, he got to go. And that's what it was. I'm all for pushing us black men, us black women harder. I'm all for that because we have a strike against us. I get that. But there's a difference when you know to play the game and when not to play the game. It's a time and place for everything, and that's just one of the time for that. You coming into a brand new genre of football, and it's like, oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Your dad was a legend, but we don't need you. Who are you? So, and that's what I want to explain to Tank and to the audience, that you can't do that. And black people gonna say I'm an Uncle Tom, a coon. That is totally fine. I play the devil's advocate because I don't ride the wave. Black folks do shit when it's convenient for them, like I said, and I'm sticking by it. And that's the honest God truth.
So, man,
one of the things we gotta think about, one of the things that you mentioned is pushing each other.
Right.
Why are we pushing each other? Why are we not supporting
each other,
regardless?
Right. And I said that same thing about Karen Ward
on their journey.
Right.
I think we as parents, we as black people sometimes think we got to push and think we got the answers.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have a shift, instead of worrying so much about people changing, that word even sounds differently.
Right.
I'm going to push you versus let's just have a little shift in direction. You even receive it better.
Yeah, it's much better. So it's a better wording.
Yeah. So I think that's where one of the things that we're looking at here is we have to protect our mental health.
100%.
But also support our kids.
That's right.
On their journey.
Right.
And not ours.
Right.
And break that stigma around thinking that mental health is mental illness.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we as black fathers use the tools and the resources, and even if I don't change, if I make the change for my child, as in this situation, I said it before. I actually was having a little conversation before you came in, and I said we all suffer from PTSD. It's called parenting.
100%.
And so what we're seeing is the manifestation of parental trauma from generations to generations that have actually been birthed.
Right.
From my ancestors.
So exactly.
Right.
So the Deion is going to be in his son.
That's right.
It's going to be in all of his sons.
Right.
That's what I was saying.
So just think, if you thought that Deion was flamboyant and over the top, his kids already have that in them, and when he pushes that on them, guess what? They're going to be that much more.
Let me ask you
That's
this.
right.
Let me intervene real quick.
Yes, sir.
When you said that Deion was over the top, he was a diva. Okay, cool.
I didn't say diva. No. I didn't say diva.
All right, well, I'm going to say diva. Over the top. Why couldn't he train his son to learn how to deal with them or deal with their platform? You know what platform we going to. You know, even as him being in the league for as long as he was, you know what he's going to deal with as a black man. Why you just couldn't coach your son better to speak their language? And it's a time and place to do everything. But it's kind of like you just did to a part that it was just like a turnoff for all the NFL teams, and he went to Cleveland. Like he said, where's Cleveland? Why?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna make it very personal. Why couldn't I, after being an alcoholic for 30 years and being a 25-year pharmaceutical rep, why couldn't I just stop?
Right. Good analogy.
It's the same way. Until we do the work for ourselves and looking from the outside, we never know what in it. Nobody knew that about me. Nobody knew I had DUIs as a pharmaceutical rep. Nobody knew I rode with a breathalyzer on my car for over 12 years. Nobody knew that. But everybody would think, why didn't he just stop? And the same thing can happen with my kids. If I don't do the work for myself, for my mental health, and we look at these people that are entertainers and sports players and think that they should just be able to just stop.
Right.
Because they've reached a certain level. I couldn't just stop. We're all human.
Right. 100%.
And so it takes the work to be done. And that's where I come in to have conversations about the only way that we can heal the generations to come is if we do the work to understand the things that we might need to stop.
Right.
So I would say you can't say that Deion is in that life.
Right.
He's living that life.
Right.
But that goes back to what you said, pushing our kids.
Right.
He pushed them to be who they are.
Right.
But did he truly support them for who they are?
Correct.
I can't pass that judgment.
So,
but it's like we can say that we're doing something for our kids, but is it truly for them or is it for
me?
us?
Right.
So
exactly.
basically, don't judge them. Just support them for who they are. Basically.
And you don't even know if he wanted to do something else, but his daddy said, no, you're gonna play this football.
And that's why I feel like that's where the line is being drawn at. Because if he didn't want to play football or he want to do something else, he has that right. I feel like Prime is trying to live through his sons, and he's already done this thing. You got to let your kids make it their own decisions. And I just think that was just a bad representation of the draft, and it showed that.
I
It really
agree
did.
with that.
You ain't got to.
Yeah,
it's just
it's a lot of angles that honestly that you can look at. What I always just look at things from a holistic perspective.
Right.
Because everybody's journey is different.
100%.
We don't know what Deion birthed into his kids.
Right. We don't know behind the scenes.
And I know that this is a show to, talk about these things.
Right.
But, this is where I come in and say, you know what? When we see these things, we have to first look at ourselves.
Oh, 100%.
And see
you gotta look in the
our
mirror.
shortcomings and
Right.
the work
We have to
that
look in the
we
mirror.
have been doing.
100%.
And I was listening to somebody that made that statement as in, even before you take certain mental health steps, we have to accept each other.
Right.
But we can have a positive conversation, and the person I was scrolling, the person actually said that, you know, you can be having a conversation, but by the time you get into the comments, the conversation back on the negativity.
Right.
Yeah.
It is going to
You
circle
know,
back around.
And
Right.
and that's where it's like everybody, as I said, everybody has PTSD, and we're programmed
100%.
to think a certain way.
Right. Right.
And a lot of that comes from our parents.
My parents. Right.
So a lot of times you can't even fault the kids. And people talk about what the kids doing and how they act these days. When I went to high school back in 1988, somebody came up there shooting. I mean, I remember it vividly. So when you see these young men, they are birth generations of
Their parents.
trauma that hadn't been healed.
Right.
So what you're seeing in these youth that you're saying don't know how to act to their parents, if their parents have not been healed, they're 5 to 6 generations of unbirthed trauma and mental health conditions that have never been addressed.
Right.
Because we as a black community don't want to do the work so that we can allow our kids to have the best opportunity that they can have.
Right.
The same way in this situation, just like with any black family, this one here is just publicized.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's why it's not a new problem.
Right.
So that's why we have to curve those conversations and shift them to, okay, let's think of why it might have happened, but how can we change the narrative, the next situation? Because that's the other thing. If we put too much out there, we doing exactly what we
Well, let me ask you this. Like, you saying we hasn't been healed from trauma. I just think that, like you said, we are programmed, but we're willing as a culture, we're willing to unlearn and unprogram that. It's like,
Are you sure?
I'm 100% positive, because I feel like if I try to love one black man or black woman and then I get disrespected or treated away, I'm trying to show that our culture, but not you, but that other person's being disrespectful or nasty or negative, maybe because of their healed trauma, maybe because of the stuff, I don't know what they're going through,
Right.
but I just feel like we don't, and that's why we do the killing, and that's why we don't respect each other. Tank said something on a couple of segments ago that we need to love again and we need to respect,
Right.
and we don't do that at
Right.
all.
Right.
But we're not willing to learn or unlearn our brainwashed ways. Like I said, we're not willing to be unprogrammed.
And that's the thing. And yeah, we're
Right.
not willing.
Right,
Well-
and that.
Well, we try, because most people try because they said, I want to, like when they say I want to break this generational curse, that's when they somewhat trying. Like some people, it's a very small percentage, but people try. They're like, man, I just want to break that. I don't want to be like, you know what I'm saying, my parent who did this and did that, or, you know, I don't want that on me, you know, that spiritual, because we are all spiritual beings, so we going to take on some of them ways. So, you know, you pray to God to break them generational curses. So that's
I just broke a generation curse.
yeah,
And I say that
big up.
because this year, my grandma's 90 years old.
Yeah.
Grandma 90 years old. She's never seen a grandson graduate from college. I'm the first one to do that.
That's dope.
That's big up.
So
That's dope. Listen.
I get what you're saying with the generation curses. It's 6, 7 of us, grandsons. I could have did it, but we get caught up, like, this life happens. But in another month, my grandma get to witness this before she leaves this earth. She's up there. She's 90. Right. She's up there, and she could see. I could see a grandson graduate from college. I'm the first one to do that.
Right.
That means the other grandkids, the great grandkids that's behind me,
They gonna look at that.
They can look up and say he graduated.
Yep.
He the first person that graduated college.
Right.
I can be just like my cousin.
Right.
So I'm trying to do that, but as a culture, as a unit, we don't want to.
And that's the thing. And I think that, to your point too, a lot of times we want to break the curses of getting goals, but we don't want to
Right.
break the curses of patterns in life.
True.
Because even when we look at certain situations, and I applaud you, it's a thing that, okay, as we're going along that journey, how are we changing the patterns of those that are around us in our families so that they can have a better path than we did?
Right.
So it's one of those things, it's as a culture, but I think the other thing is we don't have enough people willing to share their journey.
Right.
Many people don't want to talk about it, so people.
I'm one of those people.
So
I'm one.
yeah,
I'm one
and,
of them.
and
I'm one
that's
of them.
fair. But you know, when I meet people, and I probably said this to you day one when I met you, I tell people it's like, hey, I'm a 3-time suicide survivor. I was a 30-year alcoholic. I'm 39 months sober this week.
Look at
You
God.
know, thank
Look
you,
at God.
thank you. But
Sir,
see, that's the
yes,
thing
sir.
though, is people want to talk about it.
Right.
I was at a barbershop today just having a conversation, and the guy in the chair was like, hey man, how you stop drinking? I'm trying to figure it out because I don't want to. We have to be able to share and be open. I don't
Right.
like to use that word vulnerable.
Right.
Vulnerable a lot of times can mean that you're in a position to be weak.
Right.
So you can't be vulnerable with everyone, but we go into spaces and people always say, oh, we want you to be able to be vulnerable.
Yeah,
No, we
that's
want you to be able to be open. Just like I say, not change,
Emasculating.
not shift,
right.
not vulnerable, but open.
But how can you be open? And I salute what you're doing.
Thank
Mad respect, mad love, respect. How can you do that when we, as a culture, we criticize,
Right.
we damage each other, we disrespect each other, we be derogative? How can I be open to you? And I'm not saying you personally. I'm
Yeah.
just saying to my brother, to my sister. And I felt like you're gonna do that because people say I got trust issues, but people I deal with got issues with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like me, you know, and I say this with Tank. Tank is a genuine dude, and I rock with him, you know. But at the same time, it's like, if I get the shirt off my back, I have to say him before I say, and you know, you're doing conniving, disrespectful things. It's like, how can I open up to you?
Right.
And I'm going through a patterns of people with my same people doing that. How you think I feel? I feel prejudice towards my old people at that point because it's like, damn, I'm trying to love XYZ, but ABC hate me.
So
Yeah. And you know what? My philosophy is once I done put it out there, ain't no judgment.
right.
Right, because
So
it's your flaw.
I feel comfortable.
It's your flaw.
Right.
So it's
Right.
the thing about it is, it's not about the external. It's about your own personal healing journey.
That's right. That's right.
And you know, I've learned to get out my head. I'm truly spirit led.
Right.
We've been programmed mind, body, spirit.
Uh-huh.
Right.
100%.
But why we put the spirit last?
Correct.
So when I put the spirit first and the spirit leads me
There you go.
in my mind to say something, it's a release. And I'm not worried about what's out there, what anybody says, because you know what? Everything I do is aligned with my purpose.
Right.
And my purpose is my peace.
Right.
So if it's part of my purpose, I don't care how you feel or what you say, it's not going to disrupt my peace.
That's right.
But it takes time.
That's dope.
And,
That's so
and what I
real.
realize is that I can't give you the answer of how it works
right.
because you have your own healing journey. But me sharing, like I'm a mental health peer coach now, and I'm a certified peer specialist. And
That's
one of the things
important.
that they say is that we have to share our lived experience to offer hope and support. I can't help you. If I help you, to me, that means I have the answer, and I think I could tell you what you need to do. You your own individual. I ever get tired of people talking about the characteristics of a man. Every man has different characteristics.
Amen.
Every man
Right,
ain't gonna
true.
be a strong man. You can't push, especially.
True, I agree.
And getting
100%.
back to kids,
Right.
you know, every little boy ain't gonna be tough.
Right.
Every little boy, every little girl ain't gonna be outgoing.
Right.
Just like you say, I respect that you don't feel comfortable with everybody, and that's fine.
Right.
Some people say, well, you got to get to the point. No, everybody ain't got to get to the same point.
Right.
It's okay to not be your okay. And when you understand that and it's truly spirit led, then that's when life gets greater.
And that's key. That's key.
And that's what we have to give to our kids. That's what some of these, you know, if it's whatever, sports organizations, whatever organizations that's pushing the kids, you know, are we doing more damage in building them to try to make them men than building them to have the character and the mentality that they should have to be the best them? And that's
Right.
where we're sitting here questioning certain things. Well, I don't feel this or that. It's because that's what we've been taught.
Correct.
100%.
And we don't want to transfer that on to our kids, but we got to do the work for ourselves too.
Correct.
Amen.
Allow them to be themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And you got to allow yourself, give
To be
yourself grace.
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Give
right.
yourself grace. Be yourself.
And,
Right,
and that is so real when you was saying, like, when you speak out things, especially spiritual, like I get in a silent place, you know, and I read my word and I get in a silent place and I allow God to give me, you know, a word or a prayer, you know, God speak to me and I move that way. And I learned when you're making a move, sometimes it's best to be silent, you know,
Right.
and take that time to listen, you know, but when you do speak things out, it make you more comfortable.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You be
Yeah.
relaxed, relieved.
Yeah. I mean, just like think about, you know, why not cry? I was just talking to one of my partners on the well here. I said, think about it. When you take your car to get an oil change, right, it's got to get flushed.
Right.
Yeah.
Your tears are your flushing.
It's a big relief too. You like,
It's a relief.
You like,
and then guess what? You get replenished with new energy.
right.
But if you don't,
that's a great analogy.
but
Great
if
analogy.
you don't cry, you still got that stuck. Just like you go in the
Right.
sauna to sweat to get the toxins out.
Right.
That crying is letting whatever emotionally that may have you held bondage, it's letting it out so you can be refreshed.
Right.
Right.
Maybe it's time for your cup to be empty of everything that's in your mental
That's right.
and your emotion as well for your emotional wellness.
Because
But we talk not to cry. Hold all that stuff in. Just break. Just get your high blood
Society
pressure.
has taught us
Yeah,
that.
I mean, let's break down the consequences.
and get you
You weak.
pre-diabetic.
Yeah. You weak if you cry.
You know what? See, I'm not a real cry, but when I do, I lean my head back and that one tear get up there. You like, but when you release it, when that tear drop, then you just let go.
Yeah.
You better hold it up. You better not
I ain't gonna
fall.
lie. I mean, I was not the toughest. I was
Right.
emotional. That's part of my thing. But I had my own personal journey as a child that I've had to look back now, and I realized the seeds that were planted for my low self-esteem.
Right.
You know, being a little guy, but being smart and being ahead, and then getting to college at 17, and I mean, literally just turned 17 and trying to adapt to the world and trying to be what everybody else wanted Scooter to be versus being me. I'm just finding out who I am through sobriety these past 3 years. And I was King Orange Green at FAMU. The Whoop Dog used to shut down Daytona, everything. Look here. Hey, I get the Whoop going right now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but that's the thing, though. It's like we don't know a lot of times who we are, and we think we do. So we have to figure out what are those masks that are keeping us from understanding ourselves. Is it depression? Is it anxiety? You know, is it alcohol? Is it drugs? But those are the things that we don't want to face.
That's right.
Because it's the realities of who we are.
And we being judged.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's real. I like that. That's dope. That's 100%.
That is dope, man.
Yeah.
That's real dope, man. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
My bad, we don't took that serious.
No.
No, that's a good term.
I mean,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is mental
Me
health
too.
this month, you know,
Yeah.
and this is stuff that doesn't get talked about enough. This is stuff
Right.
that's not advertised. Everybody want to talk about relationships. Everybody want to talk about the
Right.
sports drama. That's why Tank and Cole podcast is a different era of entertainment talking,
yeah.
because we talk about everything.
Everything.
We got
Yes.
mental
Good.
health.
That's good. I
We done
appreciate
had
that.
union
Union,
reps.
yeah.
We wanted all. I want people to come in from the court systems. Why you
Right.
incarcerating all these minorities?
Right.
I wanted
Right.
all. We want to be. We and Tank agreed to be a versatile
Correct.
podcast. We do
Podcast,
not
that's right.
want to be what all those
just-
other social media platforms
Correct.
are.
That's
correct.
And that's why we getting the love. And thank you, fans. Thank you for all you subscribers. Thank
Yes,
y'all
yes.
for the
And
views.
keep subscribing.
Keep subscribing. Keep
Subscribe
subscribing.
to
Tank
them,
and Cole.
y'all.
Yeah.
Subscribe to them.
You know, and that's why we want to hit bridges on everything, because this right here needs to be talked about. And what
Right.
you're doing
It's
needs to
very
be
important.
attention. It needs to be more of a nationwide barometer. We
Right.
get caught up in the social media. We get caught up of our traumas and past, but we don't hit enough of this. And mental health is just so important.
It's very
Even,
important.
You know,
That's right.
you can be making $100K at the job, but it's messing with your mental because you're
yeah.
stressed out in that toxic environment, a toxic manager, or whatever the case is. Somebody be making $60,000 a year, they might not have half of those problems. And people don't understand that balance. And I just think that's just a program thing. And I think that needs to be a barometer ours, especially with our people as a culture, that needs to be addressed. It needs to be out there a little more than what it is.
Oh yeah. And it's, I mean, I'm not the only space and organization. And that's what I realized.
Right.
But one of the things we have to do as a community, though, is we got to come together.
100%.
You know,
100%.
too many times, the reason why we set back too, and like you say, the only time we come together when there's something in it for me.
Convenient. Right.
But
Exactly.
the thing about it is, even in this mental health space, everybody might be doing something, but you can't feel like I'm the only one that's doing it. I have the answers for everyone.
Right.
Right.
So, but that's how we've been taught, because everything is a hustle, everything is a grind, and everybody's in it for themselves.
Sales. Right. Everybody
That's
their
why
own
with
man.
Brothers Brunch Foundation, I tell people, I'm a motivational conversationalist. And my CEO status stands for Conversationalists Educating Others.
Right.
Because we all CEOs, because we have conversations that we educate
each
others.
other.
That's right. That's right.
So for me, it's not about me. I connect with other organizations because I realize I don't have the answers.
Right.
I might need to send somebody over to the Black Male Initiative or the Black Man Lab or Fathers Matter ATL.
Right.
And even though we here to talk about Brothers Brunch Foundation, you see, I'm still talking about the other organizations.
Correct.
Because we need to know what's going on in the community
100%.
That's
for
right.
us.
100%.
That's right.
But one thing
100%.
you're going to find me is I'm advocate activist. You heard me, I said I stopped by a barbershop today. I don't wait for no program for an event. I'm out here in these streets.
He be at
I'll
the
meet
Capitol
I'll
and
meet you
everywhere.
at the gas station. I'll meet you at the school.
Right.
You know, wherever. And I'm going to tell you what I got going on because, like you say, if we don't talk about it, the narrative is just going to continue.
Right.
And our kids are going to keep birthing and birthing. And if y'all think
true.
it's bad now,
Yeah. Whew. Down the line.
but
down the line.
we have to stop putting it on the externals and
Correct.
heal from within.
Correct.
Right.
Eventually, we're gonna have to get into what are some of the activities that the brothers do and stuff like that too, man. That's
Man, look here. Y'all need to come on out, man. I did a third annual Black Men's Holiday Relaxation Spa Day. Men getting salt cave, oxygen bar, foot detox. The men even sit
Where
on.
was you?
Hold on,
You're fired.
Hold on. The men even sat on the pot.
So what can
You
we?
know they got a men's V steam, right?
Oh.
It's called a
wow.
Lingam steam.
Wow.
You see what I'm talking about? All free.
Yeah.
All free.
Damn.
Yeah.
And man,
So go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, tell the people where they can,
Oh yeah,
they
yeah. Where we can look you up? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to. I was about to say that. You took the word right out of my mouth.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
that's what's up. Hey, first of all, website is www.brothersbrunchfoundation.com.
Y'all see the shirt? Y'all
see
see
the
the
shirt?
shirt? The WD?
Yeah.
Y'all zooming in?
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah,
At Brothers Brunch Foundation Inc. on Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
Okay.
We official 501c3.
Okay.
So we on Eventbrite. We on Givelify. I'm like
Okay.
the churches around here. You want to make a donation, you go through Givelify,
Right,
make it
right,
legit. So
right.
yeah, but anywhere, Brothers Brunch Foundation, or you can even look up Sober Scooter.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Google that.
Yeah.
And y'all follow Scooter, man. Thank you for coming to the show, man. Thank you for
appreciate it.
Thank you for just putting that out there for us. We needed
this
that.
is
We needed that
This
moment.
is a blessing.
Yeah,
This
we
is a
needed that
blessing.
moment,
Hey,
man.
Made Mental Health Month, man. Let's
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. Man, I tell you, man, like, I still had to say this, like this brother, he be in the schools, from the schools to the Capitol, like doing like just community work, like I've seen it. Like this brother do some of everything, man. Y'all get out here and support this brother because it's very important. Mental health is very important, man.
Very, very important.
Very important, and and he's a very knowledgeable brother.
Right.
You know, regardless of who you are.
Right.
You know, so
And more
big-
importantly,
Mhm.
support yourself.
Right,
100%.
Support each other.
100%.
right.
Uncle Shannon in trouble, huh?
Yeah.
Boy, black folks have left the congregation on him.
Yeah, man. You know how black folk do, man.
Woo, it was $50 million lawsuit. ESPN told him he had to get gone for a little while till he get that cleared up.
Right.
But you know, back in the day, he had something similar with CBS.
Yeah.
So this is like, is it one of those ding dong? Is it one of them?
Yeah.
I don't know. Soulja Boy was in it. Uncle Shannon's in it.
Yeah.
He had the Cat Williams. That thing blew up, but now it's like.
And Cat told him what was gonna happen when he did that interview.
It might be the rent due, not the rent you pay, but the other rent.
But you know what happened to black men once they reach a certain financial status. You know,
I said the rent was due.
yeah.
Hey, if you don't know what the rent is, you ain't gonna get it from me. Just
Yeah.
So man,
It's like sooner you get to that 100 million, you got 100 million, rape.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they
But,
bring your back down. Man.
story is ongoing. Playoff time, man. Heat going home.
Yeah, they going.
Grizzlies at home.
Man.
Bucks at home. Damian Lillard's out again, but it don't matter because I think he's done. I like them. He could be a Hall of Fame lock. He's done. Who else is out? Orlando's out.
Yeah, Orlando's out.
It's just like LA is on the verge. They about to get up out of here.
LA is not beating Minnesota.
Yeah, LA not being Minnesota. Denver and the Clippers seems like that's like the only series that's going neck and neck, right?
Well, to me, man.
No, the Knicks in business.
Cleveland, don't
too.
forget about Cleveland.
Oh yeah, Cleveland.
Cleveland. If the NBA doesn't cheat these boys, Cleveland actually can run the whole thing.
You think they could beat Boston?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I don't know.
Hey,
You think about Cleveland. This is the thing about it. Cleveland is a great defensive team, but Boston, they got so many offensive weapons. Cleveland only got the boy Donovan Mitchell, and they got Hunter.
DeAndre Hunter. Yeah. You're right.
So it's like,
well, they got other players. They just unknown. You know what I'm saying? But they actually good players. Like
I want to see Cleveland and Boston through it out, but the Knicks and Pistons, they still New York is up 3-2, so they still battling. I mean, yeah, New York is up 3-2. Denver's up 3-2 on the Clippers, so that's gonna be interesting tape. But by the time we come back on there, LA might be at home. But that's it for sports. Jaylen Brown playing golf with Donald Trump.
yeah.
I'm not gonna be judgmental. I feel like that's what he wanted to do. Black people got a problem with it, obviously, but I don't know.
What you think?
Man, look here.
He said, "I'm gonna say no comment."
Hey, I don't know where to go with that.
Okay,
Yeah,
got you. But black folks are not happy with it.
Well, yeah, but I feel like I know everybody is mad at Trump and stuff like that, but we never know who God used to expose some things.
That's true.
Say it's people not looking at the things that are being exposed during these times.
Oh yeah, a lot.
So
Heavily.
that's how I look. That's why I don't jump on bandwagons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't ride the wave. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I don't do it. You know, so it's something gonna come out of this.
Well, you know the old saying, keep your enemies close.
Close. That's right. There you go. There you go.
Right.
There you go.
All right, man. That's another segment of Tank and Cole, man. My name is Cole.
And my name is Tank.
And we got
Sober Scooter.
Yes,
Sober
sir.
Scooter. Thank you for coming again.
Yes.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. We will see y'all on the next go round. We're going to make moves.
And talk later.
Later.
Yes, sir.